Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Welcome back, everybody, to the QuiverCast. This is Mike, your host, and this is all brought to you by YourAudioLegacy.com and QuiverBuilder.com. And please check out my other podcast, The Stinky Booties, I do with my buddy, Billy. Let's roll. Hello, everybody. This is Mike here with the QuiverCast, and today's special guest is Alyssa Spencer. How are you, Alyssa?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for doing this interview. I'm pretty excited, actually. So what's going on? You just got back from Europe. How was that?
Yeah, Europe was amazing. I had the best time. There was good waves, good people, and good food. So it was, such a fun trip.
So how did that trip start?
Where'd
you fly into? And
Yeah, I flew into Portugal. So we had a Challenger Series event in Portugal that I was there for, and I spent 2 weeks there. So a little bit of time before the event, and then the event was about 10 days long, I think was our waiting period. And then I got a 9th place finish there.
Okay, good.
Yep. And then after that, we drove from Portugal to France.
Wow.
So that was an amazing adventure. It was like a 10-hour drive, I think.
Okay, so let's talk about Portugal.
Yeah.
Have you been there before this time?
This is my first time to mainland Portugal.
Okay.
I've only been to the islands off of Portugal, the Azores.
Oh, yeah.
So this is my first time to mainland Portugal, and it was so much fun.
Okay, so tell us about it, like the people, and how about speaking Portuguese?
That was a little challenging. I've never spoken anything besides Spanish before. So me and my dad, we were like watching YouTube videos on how to say certain things just to get ourselves by. And we had it like written down in our phones to know how to like ask for certain things and stuff. So it was definitely a little bit of a challenge, but I mean, we worked through it.
So wait, hold on. Is Portuguese? Because it does sound like Spanish, but it doesn't.
It's a lot different, I think. There's some words that are similar. Like you could get by, I think, with speaking Spanish, but they wouldn't like fully understand you. And
what about English? Did a lot of people speak English there or no?
There was quite a few people who spoke English, so that made it easier at most restaurants and like some of the bigger restaurants and supermarkets and stuff like that. Most people spoke at least a little bit of English, so it was easy to ask around for things like that. But there was a few places that we would come across that no one spoke English at all.
Oh, really? In by the surf contest, or like kind of like in the middle of nowhere?
I think just when we went and like visited some of the different like cities and stuff. Okay. The bigger cities had a lot of people who spoke English, and then some of the smaller ones were a little bit different. Yeah.
So you fly in and do you go straight to the contest site? Or how does this work?
Yeah, we flew into Lisbon and we had like a 45-minute drive straight to the place that we were staying at close to the contest. And we kind of just posted up there for the whole time and just surfed the contest wave. And there was a couple other fun waves around there too. So on the days when it was really crowded at the contest wave, we'd go try and find some other waves.
Okay, so how are the waves?
The wave that they had the contest at was really tricky. It was a right point, but it was really soft. So there was a lot of slow sections. And then at like the higher tides, it would have a couple like chunkier sections that would come out kind of out of nowhere. So it was a hard wave to learn how to read. But definitely after surfing it for a couple of days, we had like so many different types of swells. Like it was really big the first day that we got there. So like straight off the plane, I was like straight into like 8 to 10 foot
really?
surf.
Oh, man. How did you feel about that?
I mean, it definitely woke me up from the jet lag and kept myself awake for the rest of the afternoon. But yeah, it was definitely a lot to just go straight into that. But I mean, it was a good warm up for what was there for the rest of the week because we had solid waves for pretty much the whole contest. So it was definitely a good warm up.
Okay. And then your dad went with you? Just you and your dad?
Yeah, just me and my dad. My dad did the whole Europe leg with me.
Sweet.
And yeah, He's an awesome travel buddy. So
Is he?
it was really cool.
Okay. So then you guys are in Portugal and you get a ninth place. And then what'd you think about Portugal overall, the wave quality? So you went up and down the beach a little bit too.
Yeah, the wave that they had the contest at was okay.
Okay. So you guys did a little down the road.
Yeah, there was a wave that was kind of like 5 minutes away from the contest, I think. Okay. That was it was a really fun right point. It just sort of bent towards you a little more, so it had like a face to it. Okay. And that wave was so much fun. We surfed there, I think, like 3 or 4 times. All right. I was mainly just surfing the contest bank just to try and get used to it and feel it out.
Right, so, yeah. So, yeah. And then were the other girls there already too? And all of them surfing?
Yeah.
So how is it seeing the same faces all different parts of the world? Like you just saw them in Oceanside and then Huntington just a couple weeks before. Yeah. Is it cool? Is it weird? Is it just kind of like normal?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of normal for us now. Like we're all traveling and kind of in this whole little tour together. So it's like, you know, when you show up one place a couple of days before the contest starts, all your friends are going to be out there with you and everyone, the girls and the guys from the contest. So it definitely gets a little bit crowded at times, but it's nice to have friends traveling with you, and it always makes it fun, like surfing with your friends in the water in new countries.
What about the locals there? So you guys all are like taking over on their break. How does, let's just say Portugal now. Yeah. How does that translate to them being nice, or are they unfriendly?
I mean, everyone's pretty nice for the most part in Portugal. I never really came across any locals that were angry too gnarly. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many of us, so it's like, what are you gonna do?
And it's good for their economy. Yeah, and it's a fun event.
Yeah,
right. So I mean, it would be a bummer, especially if there's like good swell, and all of a sudden you got like the top pro surfers in the world like on your break.
Yeah, I know. It definitely makes it very hard to get waves, but I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I never really came across anyone that was too angry about us being out there.
Okay. All right. And then you guys drive to France?
Yeah. So after the contest was done, we left the day after the contest ended, and we drove from Portugal to France. So it was a 10-hour drive, and you drive through Portugal, Spain, and then into south of France. Okay. And we drove just straight to Hossegor. We got in like pretty late at night, so I didn't surf that day, but starting the next couple of days I tried to get ready for the comp, and we actually only had one day to surf the contest bank because they were starting a pro junior the day after that. Okay. And then our event went straight after that too. Okay. So we tried to pack in as much time in that one day to surf it, but France, the waves changed so much. It's like
with tides or
yeah. There's like 15-foot tide swings, so
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it's like one day you can wake up and it'll look like completely different than the next day, or even like just a couple hours, like the waves change completely. So that was definitely a lot to get used to.
Okay, so driving that 10 hours, are you guys stopping and like touristing at all? Or are you guys just like, we got to get to the show?
Yeah, we stopped in Spain, actually. We stopped in this town called Salamanca. Mm-hmm. It was like really far inland Spain, and it was beautiful. It was pretty cool. There's just so much like history in all of the towns along the way. And where we stopped, there was this huge like cathedral that was, I think it was built in like 1100 or something like that. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. Super cool. Yeah, kind of experience that part of Europe, because there's a lot of, just like rich history there, I guess.
Okay. So would you go back to like that region and like just tourist? Could you do that? Would that be fun?
Yeah, I would love to do that one day. I was actually telling my dad that. I was like, I could spend so much time here. There's so many like places in Europe that I'd love to travel to, even just not to surf, like just to experience the culture and everything there. But I definitely look forward to hopefully going back one day.
And then what about was your dad like totally geeking out on like the cathedral and stuff too?
Yeah.
Or is he more business?
No, he loves that part of traveling too. We always try to check out places around us. Like when we're there for a surf contest, also be able to, like, if there's a lay day or something, like maybe drive somewhere else if there's a cool town or something, just interesting to see around. Just like maximizing our time, because you never know when you're going to be back there.
Okay, so then there are a couple questions. One is lay day. What's a normal lay day? say the waves are just kind of like, or the men's events going, or the junior pro juniors going, and do you surf like a couple hours and then go mess around for the day, or how do you approach that day?
Yeah, it depends on what the waves are like. If it's, completely flat and they just call it off, then of course we won't surf that day. Or if it's really big, maybe we'll try and find waves somewhere if there's somewhere that's going to be good. But there's a couple days that were flat and also a couple days that got really big. So we just kind of took the day to go drive to find other cool cities and check out the area.
Wow. Okay. So you're making the best out of it. Like, that sounds so fun, actually. So being on this tour, this European leg, is it, what's the right word? Well, I mean, you're having fun. It's not all work.
Yeah. I mean, we try to balance it out. If you're putting too much pressure on yourself and too much like seriousness into all of it, I feel like it can get like a little overwhelming. So trying to, I don't know, just enjoy where you're at on like the lay days and take it all in, I guess, and not get too caught up in like the results that you need and everything. Just kind of have a day to enjoy where you're at. Yeah.
Okay. So before we go to France, since you talked about that, how do you approach contest surfing?
Oh, that's a good question. I always try to just make sure I'm balanced and having fun, but also being focused and, having goals set out for where I want to be at the end of the year and the work that I'm going to do to get there. And I guess showing up at a contest, I always try to make sure that I have like good plans for my heats and making sure I have the breaks, like surf them before and have the lineups all figured out and everything and my equipment dialed. And there is like a lot of focus and preparation that goes into it. But when the moment comes, I just want to make sure that I'm focused, but also having fun because I love surfing and that's why I'm doing it.
Okay. So we will get to France because I am still fascinated. But you're all these other things you're saying, since we're here, we might as well approach them. Okay. Boards. How do you pick your board? Are you riding this probably the same boards in Portugal and France?
Yes.
Is it the same boards you're riding here in Carlsbad?
Yeah, there was a couple of boards. Yeah. I mean, my Quiver, I have great boards from everything for small waves up to my biggest step ups. And I feel like just whatever the waves are doing on that day, I'll try to minimize, like bring it down to 2 boards and decide between the 2 for the day. Okay. But all of my equipment's been working amazing lately. So I know like out of the 2 boards that I choose, like whichever one I'm going to ride is going to work. So yeah.
How many boards you bringing? How many boards?
To France, I think I brought like, I want to say 8 boards. Okay. Yeah.
What was your biggest?
My biggest board that I brought there was a 5'9".
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll hold any size? As big as you're going out?
I don't even know if I ended up riding it there.
Really? Okay. Okay. What was the smallest board?
My smallest board is 5'2". Okay,
it's 5'2". Is it? Do you have like 2 5'2s, like one more like knifey and the other one's a little wider? Or I mean, what's your quiver like? Tell us your quiver.
So my 5'2" is for like smaller waves. It's a little bit more, I guess, like a flatter wider, wider and flatter. Okay. And that's my smallest board that I have in my quiver. And that's for days when it's really, really small and grindy. Okay. And then my short board is a 5'3.5". So that's kind of like your my go-to? Everyday. Yeah, if it's like 3 to 5 feet, kind of in that range, like chest to shoulder or chest set head high. And then above that, I have like a 5'4", which is what I'll use if it's like head high or just a little bit overhead, like if I feel like I need just a little more foam. And then my step ups are 5'5" and 5'7". So those are the boards that I'll use if it's like 6 to 8 feet, I would say. And then
big waves for me.
The 5'9" is for anything over that. And then I have a couple other boards that I have for anything bigger than that.
Those are at home.
Yeah.
You pull those out if you need to. Yeah. What are you talking? Okay, let's talk. What are those boards? Give us something you would ride.
I have
like big blacks. Do you serve blacks?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, okay. I would probably, if it's big at blacks, I'd probably ride my 5'11" or 6'3", I would say. Okay. Yeah. If you're like paddling at a wave like that, where it's just like a big beach break and there's lots of water moving around, it's definitely nice to have a little bit of extra foam.
Okay, and who's your shaper?
Right now, Britt Merrick shapes my boards.
Is he doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it off the probably machine shape, right? Are you getting?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they would be machine cut and then
Touches them
finished
up.
by him. Yeah.
Okay. And how are those working? I mean, obviously you say they're working good, so you're surfing good. Okay, so back to your boards. Okay, so there was a video like when you came home here, you're like stoking a little barrel, like the left. You don't have to say where it was at. But what board are you riding then?
I was riding my normal shortboard, 5'3.5".
Okay.
So yeah, that was like a little, I guess, like head high barrel, and yeah, the shortboard works and everything pretty much like head high and smaller.
Do you ever paddle out and be like, oh, I wish I had the 5'7"?
Yeah, that does happen
tide
sometimes.
drops or something?
Yeah, there are times when that happens, but that day, that board was definitely the board to ride.
Okay. You want to say where it was at? You don't have to. Okay, so now France. So you get you guys do the 10-hour drive, do a little touristing. All right, what's up with France?
Yeah, France was, when we first got there, the waves were really small.
And then one more question. I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
So you're going from to us, or to me personally, Portuguese is kind of a strange language. You don't hear it very often unless you see the Brazilians, which I hardly see any Brazilians.
Yeah.
Right? Then you go to France, which is a total different French, is a whole nother strange language to me.
Yes.
So how's that?
French was much more difficult than Portuguese.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I found it much harder because, I mean...
Did you have it in your phone too?
Yes, we tried our best. The accent was the hardest part. Like,
okay.
Learning how to pronounce the words correctly was just like, oh my gosh, it was definitely very challenging. But yeah, I think with French too, it's like so different than any other language. Like at least Portuguese, some words were somewhat similar to Spanish.
Okay.
But French is just like a whole nother language. So it was a little bit more challenging.
And their accents are like, I don't know, different.
Yeah.
The way they pronounce it, the little I know about French, the French language. Okay.
Yeah.
So then how does France go for you?
France, I ended up getting a quarterfinal finish.
Sweet. Good.
Yeah, in the event. So my goal going into that one was, or after Portugal, getting the 9th place. I knew that a semifinal finish would definitely help me out a lot. So I just fell short of that goal, but I still put myself in a place to qualify going into Haleiwa. So yeah.
Okay. Anything else about France? How were the waves?
The waves were really fun. We had a couple of great days like during the contest that were super fun. And then even like leading up to it, the waves were small leading up to it, but I mean, it was still super fun. Like 2 to 3 foot little peaks everywhere. And it was a little bit crowded when it was smaller because anyone could paddle out. So there was a lot of people like learning how to surf, which made it tough to get waves. But
meaning like with their like just dropping it on you,
yeah.
like oblivious to like the etiquette.
Yeah, sometimes or they would just be like paddling and just not know where to go and just be in the way. But I mean, it was still really cool to be there and see how like quickly the waves can change too. Like one morning it was like practically flat when we woke up. Okay. And by the end of the day, it was like 6 foot, like head high and really, really good.
Okay. So my question to you is, so you have all these beginners that like probably don't live in France. They're on vacation or something, right? And then it gets 6 foot. Like they getting dragged out to sea, like the tide's dropping and a lot of water starts moving. That's sketchy.
I don't know because that was the day that they decided to run the contest. So everyone was already out of the area, but I would assume that probably happened to someone.
Yeah, right? Because it can happen pretty quickly too.
Yeah, I know the waves. Yeah, it changed really quickly there. So you could get yourself in a bad situation if you didn't know what you were doing.
Is France always like waves change quickly?
That's what I've heard. Yeah, a lot of people were saying like before I went, I asked some people who lived there what to expect, I guess, and what boards to bring. And they kind of said, bring everything from your groveler board to a step up for kind of just be prepared for anything because you never know what you're going to get there.
Right on. And how was the wind and stuff there?
Yeah, the wind, we actually got a lot of days of offshore wind. Oh, cool. So offshore wind and kind of like glassy afternoons. So we got really lucky. There was just a couple days where it got really big and it was kind of stormy and super windy, which we didn't really surf much on those days, and they didn't run the comps on those days,
Okay.
which was nice. Yeah.
And then how are the locals there? Are they different than the Portuguese locals?
I mean, I never came across anyone that gave me too much of a hard time.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone, I mean, at the contest bank, it was mostly just the competitors surfing. Like, there was a few, I guess you could say, locals out there, but I mean, it was pretty much just all the competitors.
Okay. And then on the free surfs, like, I mean, how people are surfing in France, like real surfers and like French surfers or Portuguese for that matter, just in Europe. Is it as big as it is here? Do you think? Or bigger, smaller? What do you think?
I mean, there's a lot of people surfing and learning to surf there. It seemed like their surf culture was really like dense there. I don't know. They had like surf schools on like every corner, at, like every beach. And I mean, yeah, like in Hossegor, it was just like a little surf town. It was like
Compared to like what town here?
I mean,
Southern California all kind of blends together.
Yeah, I feel like
Santa Cruz, maybe, or I don't know.
I feel like it's a little bit similar to like Santa Cruz, or I don't know. Okay. I mean, it seemed pretty similar to here. Like there was just so many people learning how to surf, and tons of surfers in the water. Like each little peak had like 25 guys on it. It was like you go all up and down the beach looking for something uncrowded. And every peak kind of had people on it. Okay. Yeah.
So when you're let's say touring wherever, doesn't matter, Hawaii, there, do you have a group of friends that you surf with, or do you try to do your own thing?
Yeah, I have a group of friends. Pretty much all the girls that ride for Rip Curl. Okay. We're all really close, and we've done tons of traveling with each other. So you guys stay on the team thing. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, we've all just kind of become really great friends over the past couple of years with doing, obviously, work with Rip Curl and trips with them, but also being on tour together. We all have a really special friendship. So we, like, on the lay days and stuff, when it's time to go check out the different areas and stuff, like, we'll all go do it together. And on, before the contest and everything, like free surfing, like, we'll go on surf together. And it's really cool to have that like tight knit group of friends traveling. I think it's really important. Yeah.
Okay. So are these, what girls are these? Are they older, younger, same age?
Yeah, we're all around the same age. Our little group that we had in Europe was like me, Brisa Hennessy, Leilani McGonigal, Kobe Enright, Molly Picklum, and that was pretty much it. Okay. We just had our like little crew that we would surf and hang out with, and we're all pretty much between like 18 and 22, I would say. Okay. So all pretty close in age, and we've all been doing this together for a few years now. So. And
then you're 18 now. So how's traveling? Is traveling going to change for you? Now that you've done some world traveling.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it would change too much. I enjoy having my parents travel with me, or at least one of them. It's nice to have a little piece of home with you while traveling, and also nice to have like family to support during events. And another thing too is like renting a car. I can't do that till I'm 25, and a lot of people in my group of friends, and even just a lot of the girls on tour, like none of us are close to 25 yet.
I never thought about that. That could be a total bummer.
Yeah, so it's nice to have someone older to rent a car too. Yeah. So it's like that part gets easier as well, and just having someone, I don't know, to help you out if things go wrong while traveling is also nice too.
Oh, that brings up a lot of questions. Okay, so are other parents going with these girls too, or some are and some aren't?
I guess some do bring their parents and some don't. In Europe, actually, there was like a Rip Curl house. They provided like a house for the team to stay at. Sweet. So the team manager would drive them around. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty cool. But
the team manager acts kind of as the parent if they're parents. That could get them a car, get them to wherever, food or. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes they have that like set up at the events for us. Okay, cool. Which can be nice and makes it easy for people to travel if they can't have their parents travel with them. Yeah.
And is your dad with you like the whole time, or is he like, all right, go surf with the girls and I'm going to go sit by the pool for an hour?
Yeah. I mean, he would be with me most of the time, but we definitely had our days where I would go do my stuff, whatever, go surf and go hang out with people, and he would have his time to go whether it was surf or just hang out at the house or whatever it was. But yeah, we definitely do spend like majority of time together.
And actually, I meant to ask this earlier. I'm glad you brought it up. So how much did your dad get in the water in Europe?
My dad only got in the water once or twice, I think. Not too much. He didn't put a board in the bag. He rode my 5'9", actually. Yeah,
that's funny. That's
and
cool.
I didn't see it either. I wasn't with him because he paddled out one day in France.
Okay.
So I don't know how it went, but he said that he was able to catch waves and stand up on it.
So next time he goes out, are you going to make him bring a board?
Yes.
Dad, you need to bring your own board.
I told him that he could put a board in the bag, but he didn't want to.
Oh, okay. All right. So at least he got in the water.
Yeah. No, I was stoked that he at least got in the water. Like,
And your dad's been surfing forever.
yeah.
So I knew your dad like when we were in high school together.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been surfing. He surfs good.
Yeah. No, my dad rips.
So is he videoing you, or what's his? He's going with you. Your support for sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He.
But
helps.
what does he have like another like job, or I mean maybe not a job, but how does he help you?
Yeah, he videos me most of the time, like
right. He's
getting
your
ready for the
videographer?
events. Yeah, and just it's nice to see yourself like surfing and
That would
kind
help.
of picking apart like the wave and stuff. So yeah, he'll be down there filming every session for me.
Okay.
And he also helps me out with like getting ready for the event and preheat like strategy and a little bit of coaching. I do have a coach. I've been working with Matt Myers for a couple months now, but Matt wasn't able to be in Portugal, so my dad stepped in as a coach, and my dad has been my coach like growing up surfing. And yeah, I haven't really worked with too many coaches, so he's kind of been the one to help me when I was younger up to where I am now.
Okay. So and he's having fun. Like he's having fun too, right?
Yeah, no, he loves it. He loves being there to support and help coach me, and he's always so excited to like talk about new things that he's like, oh, you can work on this, or like let's try this next time, and like helping me like pick apart my surfing, and he just wants to see me get better.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so on the videos, are you guys breaking them down like right then and there, or is it like later after dinner? Like how do you approach that?
Yeah, normally we'll do it like end of the day or at some point, like when we're either in between sessions or late at night or whatever. And yeah, well, I mean, normally before an event, we're not looking too much into like trying to fix things in my surfing or work on too many things. Just kind of, I guess, looking at the wave that I'm surfing and seeing if there's more opportunity for me to get like maximize like how I'm surfing the wave, I guess. Yeah, so we'll kind of do that just throughout the day or whatever throughout the week, and just kind of pick apart and see what is the best strategy.
Okay. And then other coaches. So this guy, Matt, is helping you.
Yeah.
And how's that working out?
Yeah, it's been awesome working with Matt. He actually used to be the Rip Curl team manager.
Okay.
So I've known him for years now.
Oh, okay. So you had a relationship with him before.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So he put me on Rip Curl 7 years ago now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I've known him.
So he wasn't some guy you met on the beach that you've known for coaching. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I've known him for a long time, and he just recently stopped being the team manager for Rip Curl and started his own like coaching.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. So it was an awesome opportunity to kind of get with him and already have like the relationship that I already have with him, and just kind of take that into coaching and working with him, which has been really awesome.
Okay, so then let's talk more about coaching because I'm fascinated by coaching. Okay, so the different coaches approach it differently. Okay, so how does he approach it, and how do you like to be coached?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? The question?
Yeah.
Like, is he getting in the water with you and surfing with you side by side? Or is he videoing you? Or is he just watching you, analyzing you on the beach?
Yeah, he actually does a little bit of both.
Okay.
Sometimes he'll get in the water with us. Sometimes he'll be on the beach videoing, and we'll kind of pick it apart. And then, yeah, he'll also sit on the beach and watch us surf, like before the contest early in the morning, and kind of get there and figure out what the waves are looking like and making preheat strategy. And he's all about making sure that we're feeling as good as we can before the heat. And
okay. And
like,
what makes you feel good before the heat?
I guess.
How do you what's your thing?
Yeah, I like making sure that I'm like focused and in the zone, I guess. And he has us do this like tennis ball warm up actually, which you have to like focus in on the ball to catch it every time. And I feel like that really helps me like calm myself down and just only focus on like one thing at a time. Because if your mind is racing with 100 million things, you're not going to be able to catch the ball. So it's a really like simple thing, but I do really think that it helps out. And he also just kind of helps make sure that like we're feeling confident and good before he like reminding us of what things like we're strong at, or like if the waves are suiting like our strong side of surfing, he'll kind of bring up those things and be like, hey, like it's looking like really good rights, like your backside turns have been really strong and this is something that really suits your surfing. So like just go out there and do your thing and we'll make up a plan to hopefully start the heat off strong and then just go from there.
Okay. What is your strong point in surfing?
Oh, I would say my backside is definitely my strong side. I've definitely done a lot of work on my front side, so I feel like it's starting to get stronger, but I do think my backside is still my strongest.
And why do you think that is? Okay, so when you learn how to surf, front side is always easier.
Yeah.
But back, because your bottom turns, or so anyhow.
Yeah,
you tell us.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm more, I guess, just more powerful and explosive backside.
Okay.
I've just always been that way since I started surfing. I feel like, or since I've been younger doing competitions, I always preferred going backhand.
Which is right.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you like the point breaks better, or beach breaks, or hollower ways?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough choice. If I had to choose for a contest, I would...
Okay, let's pick Alyssa's. If you could pick anywhere in the world to have a contest tomorrow against all your friends, where would it be?
Oh my goodness. That's a really hard question. I feel like a right point break or...
Like what? Give us a point break. Is it like Rincon, or are you looking more like Kira, or where?
Ooh, maybe Selena Cruz.
Okay.
Yeah, that's somewhere I've traveled to recently, actually, and I loved it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like a back or a right point break that has a nice, just like, I don't know, I guess like a nice face that kind of bends towards you.
Okay. You like the pitchier ways, or you like the more...
Maybe not barreling. I haven't quite gotten my backside barrels down, but just with a nice like face to be able to do like turns.
All right. So you want like just like bottom straight to the top? Kind of thing? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you have France is all done. You're in like 8th place right now, right?
Yes, I'm tied for 8th place with Coco Ho and Molly Picklum.
Oh, that's a 3-way?
Yeah, it's a 3-way tie. And we're all tied for 8th place right now. And then the girl in 7th place actually is only 200 points ahead of us. So we're all really, really close.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I'm really excited. I'm not too nervous.
Okay, good.
I do know that I am needing like a big result going into it. So I feel like I'm just going to have my mindset on semifinals or better is my goal again here.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just honestly really excited because this is the first event that they've done for women at Haleiwa in a really long time, and
do you remember
the first event that I've ever done there.
Have you surfed there before?
Yeah,
And how do you like Haleiwa? It's like a kind of a hard backside wave.
Yeah, it's a tough wave, but I enjoyed surfing there and I enjoyed the challenge of learning it. Okay. I spent like a month in Hawaii on the North Shore last year, and I got to spend a lot of time surfing there. So I'm excited to go back, and I'll have 2 weeks before the contest, so be able to put in some more time there and hopefully get it all dialed. All
right, before we talk about Hawaii and you going there, you said you're going somewhere before.
Yes.
So you're at home today.
Yeah.
And you've been here for like, what, a week? A little over a week?
Yeah, I've been here for a little bit over a week.
Okay. So now where are you going?
I'm headed to Florida on Wednesday. It's a Supergirl Pro, so it's a regional event for the QS.
Okay.
So as of now, like the regional event is what qualifies you onto the Challenger Series.
Right.
So this is a QS 3000 for us.
Okay, so is that a big one?
I guess, yeah.
Or middle?
It's our biggest one for the regional series
Okay.
scheduled so far. We had the other Supergirl event in Oceanside, which was
literally down the street from your house.
which was also a 3,000. So this is equal to that one.
Okay. So where's the Florida one at, and how are the waves supposed to be?
Jacksonville, and I have
you surfed there?
I've not surfed there, and I have not checked the forecast yet.
Does it matter? Do you look that far ahead or not really?
I mean, I will. Like before an event, just to know what boards I should be bringing.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that it's going to be somewhere between the shoulder to knee high range.
So basically like home.
Yeah.
Maybe a little smaller.
Yeah. So
and the water
could be
warm?
a little smaller. The water, I think, is supposed to be pretty warm. Definitely a lot warmer than here.
Okay. Oh, it is. Okay. And then who's traveling with you?
My mom is going to travel with me.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have a preference between your mom and dad? I'd hate to do that. They're both very cool people.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think just my dad is a little bit, he just has more knowledge in like the key strategy and coaching and all of that. But my mom is a great person to have supporting me there. And she's always very positive and just wants to see me do well. So
Yeah, for sure. Your parents are, okay, so let's talk about, before we talk about Hawaii, who's your support crew? Is your family, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They've been there like for you. I've seen it personally, like for a long time. So you want to tell us, is that the support crew?
Yeah, my family is definitely my biggest support crew. My mom and dad and my brother have all been there for me since I started doing it. So they're definitely my biggest support crew. And then I have a lot of good friends at home that support me as well. And now working with Matt, he's now become a part of my support crew and has been for a long time with sponsorship with Rip Curl and everything. And I would say that that's like my tight knit little support crew right now.
One more question about the girls, your friends you're hanging out like in Europe. Right? Are you guys you guys are definitely competing against each other?
Yeah.
How does that play out in the, let's say if you guys are staying in the same house or just in the car or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen.
For the next person?
Yeah, it's bound to happen that we're going to end up in heat together. There's only, I think it's like 64 girls that get on the Challenger Series.
Yes.
So at some point we're going to end up surfing against each other. And I mean, that's just how it goes. And we know that, all of us are here for the same goal to get onto the tour. And we're going to be cheering each other on along the way and hope to all make it together.
Okay. So you're going to Hawaii. How are your feelings on that?
I'm really excited. I really love Hawaii. Last year was kind of my first time spending like a good solid amount of time there. Mm-hmm. And I honestly haven't been like the biggest fan of surfing bigger waves like when I was much younger. And more recently, just with spending time over there, I feel like I've gotten like much more comfortable with that. And every time I go back over there, it's like going another step like in the direction of, being more comfortable when it's bigger. And I feel like just spending time over there is like so valuable to people like who are working towards that goal of getting on the world tour, to surfing those bigger waves and waves of consequence. And it's just about like spending time there to get more comfortable, I guess.
So in that month, what was your favorite wave?
I would say my favorite wave there maybe is Haleiwa.
Is that Haleiwa?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, at least the contest is there. Hey, your favorite wave?
That's what I mean, I had some of my most fun sessions out there, just pushing myself when it was bigger, but also the wave is super fun when it's like head high. Okay. So it's kind of, it can hold a lot of swell. So it's kind of like you can surf it from when it's like 2 foot to 15 foot.
Yeah. So what about some of the other breaks? How do you feel about them? Did you surf pipe?
I only surfed pipe once when I was there last winter.
Yeah.
And it was really small when I went out and very, very crowded. So I didn't get many waves, but
was it good paddling around and just kind of checking the scene out?
Yeah, just getting a feel for the lineup. Yeah, it was definitely really cool. And I hope this winter that I'll be able to hopefully spend some more time out there, because I know that if I qualify, the first event will be there.
Okay, so let's say if you qualify and it's pipe, it's probably going to be solid or decent pipe, probably.
Yeah.
Most likely.
No, I would be really excited for that.
Okay.
It's
Well,
hard.
you're a goofy foot, so that's
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely helps me goofy foot. There also is backdoor though, and sometimes it can be better than going left. Like, it just depends on the swell direction. So I would be hoping that it's just pipe and not backdoor. But I mean, whatever it is, I'd be super excited to just get out there. And I mean, it's such an amazing opportunity for the women to be out there now. And I feel like now more than ever, like the girls have been really pushing the level, and everyone kind of has barrel riding like in their repertoire of things that they can do. So
okay.
yeah.
I agree with you, and yeah, I'm stoked for the girls or the ladies.
Yeah.
And then you guys are kind of you younger ladies are kind of stirring the pot up a little,
Yeah.
like getting I don't know the right word, but new faces on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm personally excited about it because it feels like a lot of the same ladies have been there for so long. Are you excited to like compete against some of those people?
Yeah. No, I'm excited to hopefully be a part of like this new group of girls coming on tour, because it definitely has been a long time since there's been a whole new 6 girls like on
that's what I mean. Yeah,
tour.
okay.
And especially like a lot of us are really young, like in the, I would say 16 to 19 range.
Yeah,
So
which is rad.
Yeah.
For me personally.
no,
I'm
it's
excited.
it's really awesome, and I think that all of those girls like in this top 6 are all so capable of surfing these like new waves that they have on tour, like pipe and
So do you want to talk
G-Land
about the
and
new waves
Chopu.
or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean the lineup is like okay, so I wrote them down because it's kind of fascinating. So you go straight into pipe if you make it, okay.
Yeah.
Then sunset, how's that wave? Have you surfed sunset?
Yeah.
It's a lot of water.
It's a lot of water moving out there. It's definitely a really challenging wave. Last winter at my house that I rented was right on the beach at sunset.
okay.
So I was able to put in a lot of time out there.
Okay, and how do you feel about sunset?
I definitely, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable out there, but
Okay.
it is really challenging, and it also is very scary sometimes.
That's a lot of work, right?
Yes, it's a lot of work, a lot of water moving around, but I mean, it just, I feel like putting in more time there will just help.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. So you're excited about sunset? Are you like,
Yeah, I would be excited for sunset. It's just a really challenging wave to, I guess, like piece it all together, like making, like
yeah, 'cause
picking the
different
right
swells
wave. Yeah.
and different peaks.
Picking where you want to sit, and then also once you're on the wave, like reading it correctly and trying to get, I mean,
So
turns
tell us
in
your
the
best sunset wave. Do you remember it or not really?
I don't know.
Okay. Bells. All right. And then you go to Portugal, or you would go to Portugal, then Bells. So how's it? And the lady's been serving Bells forever. So,
Yeah.
but Bells looks like fun.
Yeah.
Especially for you.
Bells-
That seems like your kind of wave.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Bells is really fun. I've been there a couple times. I competed in the trials
Okay.
2 or 3 years, I think. So I've definitely spent a few weeks down there, and yeah, the wave is just really fun and rippable.
Okay. Does it suit your style?
Yeah, I would
think
say
it does,
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Margaret River.
Margaret River looks like a tough wave to learn. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's because it's like in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
What if they moved it over to the box?
I think that would be really exciting. I kind of hope that they would do that for maybe even just one round, but I think that would be
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be a little scared, but I mean, I would go out.
Okay, so let's say you're there on the contest and the box is working, but they're running at Margaret River. Are you going out? You're practicing?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I would go out
Okay,
because you got to be prepared if they're going to run the comp out there at any time.
I'm so stoked you said that. That's right. All right, cool. And then G-Land.
G-Land, I am really looking forward to that.
Really? Have you been there?
I've never been there, but it's...
Have you surfed the wave? Have you been to Bali?
I mean, I've been to Bali, so I've surfed like a bunch of the left reef breaks. But G-Land I've just heard is like so amazing, like super good. It's just a perfect left point break barrel. So.
All right. And then a wave you've never been to. So
Yeah.
we'll skip that one. I'm just kidding. Lowers. And that's kind of where you grew up at, right? Even though it's down the road, you surf there a lot.
Yeah, I surf there a lot. Like every summer, any day that it's good, I'm pretty much down there.
Yeah.
a 30-minute drive, but it's really not that far if you're going to go down and surf all day.
Okay. And then do you get dropped off and then walk down, and then your dad or mom parks? And
my
walks in?
parents used to do that, but recently I just got an e-bike, so I can put it in the back of the car, and they don't have to drive me anymore.
So what do they do? Go eat, or they go home and then pick you up later?
Well, now I have my license, so I
that's
can
right. That's
drive
right. Okay,
myself.
yeah.
So
I wasn't
ever
thinking about
since
that.
I got my driver's license, I got
that's
myself an
changed the world,
e-bike,
huh?
and then I can just go like by myself, and my parents, like if my parents are working or whatever, like I can just take myself.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
All right, J-Bay.
J-Bay, I'm
Have you been
really
there?
excited. No, I've never been
Okay.
there. That's been a place like on my bucket list for a while.
All right.
That wave just looks so like unreal.
That looks fun, but
A little sharky.
is it shark? Yeah, well, I guess that's where the McFanny thing happened, right?
Yeah.
But there's no more sharks. There's sharks out here. All right, and then Teahupo'o.
That wave I'm really looking forward to going to.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I almost went on a trip there last summer,
So
but
tell us about what happened.
the trip fell through with too much going on with COVID, but I was really looking forward to going there because it's a left barrel, so it would be easier going front side than backside, I think, and I'd be excited to watch all the girls out there and be a part of it. I think it's a really big like step for women surfing, and
I think so.
there's been a lot more girls surfing out there, and there's one girl who lives there, Vahine Fierro, and she's been absolutely charging out there and kind of leading the pack for all the girls surfing out there. And I think that I'd be really excited to just see, like, be a part of that when that event runs. Yeah.
Right on. And then how do you feel since they changed the format, I would say? I mean, it's still surfing contest, the WSL, but they've changed the way the world champs crowned and so forth.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's good, and also there's like good and bad things about it. I think it's really cool from a like spectator standpoint. I was down there, I was able to watch the finals at Lowers this year, and it was pretty crazy just being down there and like having 3 heats decide like who wins the world title for the year. Like you could just feel all the like energy on the beach, just so much was going on, and like it was
So
pretty
on the
crazy.
beach, was it exciting?
It was really
the crowd
exciting.
behind it?
Yes.
More than like just a regular final?
Yeah.
I think
would
so, too.
definitely say so.
Yeah, I drove by. I didn't actually go down there.
There was a lot of people down there, and just like every time someone would get a good wave, it was like the whole crowd was just going crazy.
So I pulled up on the 5 during the Medina and Toledo final, and I could actually hear the crowd on the 5 freeway. I have a video I'll show you later.
Yeah.
But I could hear people cheering. It was rad. It was super rad. So do you like that concept? Do you want to keep that?
I think it's
It's kind of like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you work all year to get here, and then you lay it on the line.
Yeah. The only thing that I would say that I don't really like about it is like that it all comes down to like one contest. It's not, and it's just at one wave. So it's like, if that wave like suits someone else's surfing rather than another person's, like it could, I don't know. That's just the only part where it's like, I do appreciate when they have like the 10 events out of the year, and whoever is on top of those 10 events, it's like they made it through so many different types of waves, I guess, to be crowned world champion. But this does make it a lot like more exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're trying, and I mean, I believe the WSL is trying to, they're rethinking it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Me personally. And I was actually against it, but after I watched it, I was so stoked.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about the WSL this year.
Yeah, no, it was pretty.
Or the new season coming 2022.
Yeah, it was awesome to be down there. Like watching it from a spectator standpoint, it was so amazing to watch.
Okay. And then, do you have any rivalries? Like, is there like one girl, like, even it can be friendly. It doesn't have to be like.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that all of us girls are like definitely really competitive.
Okay.
So I feel like anyone that I end up in a heat with, like, there's always just going to be that competitive, like,
You guys are giving it 100%.
Yeah.
Every heat.
Yeah. Just no matter who's in that heat. Yeah.
Okay.
I would just say that we're all really competitive, but we also all like pretty much all of us get along really well, like outside of the water too, because we're all traveling all year with each other and we're all chasing after the same thing. So we're all, I mean, just in it together, I guess.
Okay, so and who do you think's coming up, like little girls? Do you know any of those little girls?
Yeah, there's
like maybe NSSA.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little girls from around here, even in Encinitas where I live.
Okay.
I could think of a couple names off the top of my head. There's a little girl. Her name is Reed. She's from Oceanside. I've been watching her surf for a little while, and she's been absolutely ripping. And Kaya Howard, actually, she's from Encinitas. She has been surfing really well. I had a really fun time watching her, actually, at U.S. Championships. I watched a couple of her heats, and I was like, whoa, this girl's, I don't even know how old she is. She's maybe 12, and
Really?
she's just
Cool.
absolutely ripping. And, yeah, there's a bunch of other little girls that I see so many more, like, girls surfing in the water, just like from the age of, I don't even know, maybe 10 to 14. Like there's tons of them surfing now, which is really cool to see.
Okay, so yes, so the girls surfing, it's kind of, even in your time of surfing, has there been more girls surfing? Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. Every time I paddle out now, like I see like multiple like younger girls or even girls around my age like surfing in the water more often now. And I felt like when I was growing up, there was a few girls who would be in the water surfing, but it was definitely majority boys. But I would say now there's much more girls surfing.
And then how was it growing up as, like, were you like a lot of time the only girl out there? And I know there's little pockets.
Yeah.
Like Oceanside had it's kind of gotten a lot more girls.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it depended on where I went.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Down south, like surfing Seaside is kind of where I grew up surfing. And majority of the time it would be just me and the group of boys out there all around my
like
age.
Like who?
Nick,
Like
Marshall,
yeah.
and Jake and Levi Slauson and the Croziers and yeah, there was like a
And those guys all rip hard.
Yeah, they all surf so well.
Do you think that helped your surfing?
I definitely think it helped it. Yeah.
Oh, how?
Just being pushed by them, like.
And were you part of the crew? Like, were they pushing you?
Yeah, they definitely pushed me a lot. We were all really competitive, and you know, they kind of treated me just like one of the boys. They still do. So it's like, you know, Alyssa, we're not giving her an inch. Like she's got like, yeah, just keep. They're not giving you so waves. Much. Yeah, exactly. I had to fight for my own waves.
And then what happened? Like a bomb comes through. Are they like cheering you on, or like telling you to turn around and go?
Yeah,
like say it's like a heavy. You know, it gets a little. There's some water sometimes at the seaside.
Yeah, no, they definitely push me to go out on the days when it's bigger, and if there is a big one coming in, they would call me to go, and if I don't go, then I'm going to hear it all day.
Yeah. So they're going to harass you.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, cool. And that's definitely, I think, do you think that's for all the girls, or do you think?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's any different now, but I mean, for me, it was like, I mean, there was me, and then pretty much the only other girl surfing down south was like Ella McCaffrey, and we were kind of the two girls in the little boy posse, I guess. And I felt like it was always like that when we were younger, but I don't really know about now.
And then what about your brother? Does he push you?
Yes.
Do you guys have like a competitive thing going, or not really? Is it sibling rivalry, or not really?
Not really too much. I mean, we're always competitive, like when we're in the water surfing. Yeah, we're really supportive of each other. And my brother he definitely pushes me a lot. He absolutely charges big waves. So when he's out there, like packing huge barrels, it just makes me want to do it too.
So he's up at a contest right now, like Morro Bay, right? And it's big, I think, today.
Yeah.
I think it's real big up there, maybe.
Yeah. I think he got to surf Rincon, actually, and it was probably firing.
Yeah, it probably was firing. They didn't tell you? No report back?
I haven't gotten a report yet.
Oh, okay. Bummer, because I would love to know. Yeah, but then Rincon, have you surfed Rincon?
I have.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I really do like that way, but it's just really, really crowded.
So crowded. It's like kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
What about Malibu?
I've never surfed Malibu.
You never surfed Malibu?
I've only been there when I was really little. My dad took me there, but I don't remember.
Okay, so let's go Rincon versus Lowers crowd. Are they similar?
I think Lowers crowd is easier. I would say.
Because, well, you grew up there, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you probably don't know as many people at Rincon.
Yeah, I definitely do not know as many people at Rincon, but
So I feel
like,
that's a disadvantage question.
yeah, I mean, lowers, at least it's like a right and a left.
Yeah, so you can split it.
And you can also like, I mean, I guess at Rincon you could sit all down the line of the wave, but lowers, it's like you can sit in and under too and like pick waves off from like underneath people.
Yeah, so when they miss somebody, turn around and you just flip around and go. Okay. All right. And then we were talking about like strength is your backside.
Yeah.
Anything else about Hawaii though you're looking forward to? Did you ever try like some of the lesser known waves?
Yeah. I mean, when it gets big, you can go into like the other sides of the islands and you can.
Have you surfed Makaha or anything like that?
Yeah.
How was that?
Makaha is an interesting wave. I mean, it has a lot of backwash. So like when you get to the inside, it gets all warbly, but the wave is really fun. Like if it's absolutely massive on the North Shore, it can be really fun to go over there like for the day. And it's always, I feel like it's always sunny over there. So it's a nice little drive for the day and to get fun waves when it's too big.
All right. So it's you and your brother and your dad and your mom. Let's say the whole it's a family trip in Hawaii. And let's not say it's massive Waimea, but it's Waimea. Would you go out? And would your brother, see your brother's going to go out. So you guys are going out together?
Maybe. I mean, it depends on how big it is. My brother would definitely go out.
That's what I'm thinking. So he's going to go out. Is he going to be like,
definitely going to go out.
Come on, Alyssa, let's go?
He would probably try to get me to go for sure. If he could find a board for me and maybe a flotation vest, I'd go out.
Does Waimea seem fun to you or not really?
I do want to surf there one day. It just depends on how big it is. I would not go out if it's like
I'm not talking close out. Yeah. I'm not talking close in the water.
But I would go out if it's like 15, maybe 20 feet.
That's big though. That's a lot of. Okay, anyhow. Yeah. I was just thinking because your brother's charging.
Yeah, I mean, I would go out with him if it was around that size. But if it's any
would you
bigger,
feel more comfortable if he was in the water with you?
I think so. Okay. It's always nice to have someone that you know, like a familiar face, and line up with you when it's big. I think it helps, like, to comfort.
And then, so you've been traveling a lot. So how many places have you been around the world? You've traveled a lot in your young 18 years.
I don't know if I can answer that off the top of my head.
Okay, favorite places.
My favorite places. I think one of my favorite, probably my favorite trip that I ever went on was to the Mentawais. I did a boat trip.
Yeah. Who was on the boat?
I went with Jason Kenworthy and his two of his kids, Bella and Loyal, went. And then Luke Weiler and Jack Zeitz, they're both Rip Curl kids. Okay. They're like a couple years younger than me. They also went. And it was an awesome trip. Yeah, it was. I mean, we didn't get the best waves for the Mentawais, but it was still so much fun. Like, so
describe the wave and how it was.
I would say and
you were on the boat for how many days?
For 14 days.
Is that a lot of time on the boat?
It was a lot of time on the boat. We got off and walked around on the land for like an hour.
And how'd that feel? Did it feel different?
A little bit. I definitely had some sea legs after.
Really? That's a real thing?
Yeah. I mean, for me it is. I don't know. Maybe not everyone. I definitely had it though.
Yeah, I would think so. Okay, go ahead.
But it's such a cool experience being on the boat for 14 days. You definitely get really close with the people that you are on the boat with there.
Oh yeah.
There's no escaping anyone if you don't like someone, there's no escaping them.
Oh. Did that happen? No. You don't have to say that. It's okay.
No, but it could happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everyone gets under each other's skin. You know who it is, right? I would guess. I'm not speaking for you. Yeah. I'm just thinking for myself.
No, it's funny.
Even your best friend could be like pain in the butt.
Yeah, but it was really cool to just be on a boat and warm water. And the part that I really enjoyed was that you have like no cell service out there. So it's like you're not on your phone for 2 weeks and you just like enjoy everything that you're like seeing and the people that you're with, and there's like no distractions of Instagram or any social media or just messing around on your phone. Like I feel like we waste so much time doing that, so that made me realize like actually how much time I waste just going on my phone.
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so before we talk about Instagram and social media and stuff, what were you guys doing in between surf sessions and the boat? Were you like just tripping out on like the ocean or looking for animals or playing games, backgammon or something? I don't know.
Yeah, we played a lot of card games.
Card games, yeah.
We played a couple poker games because they had poker chips.
Is that when you learned to play poker?
My dad had taught me like a while back, but I wasn't very good. So I got better on that trip.
Oh, cool.
And then, we also just kind of were taking in like driving to new spots. Like you would pass by like really cool islands along the way, and they had a jet ski on the back of the boat, actually. So like if we were in between surf sessions and docked somewhere, like we could take the jet ski and go explore around. And
now, how spooky is that? Is there like villages and stuff, or is it like no one around?
There's pretty much no one around. Like,
so let's say, how far are you staying on the jet ski? Are you staying in sight of the boat in case something happens?
Yeah, we normally
You're
try
not
to
taking
stay
off like 2 miles down the road.
Yeah, we try to stay somewhat close just in case something happens.
Like, let's say the jet ski just breaks down.
Yeah,
you don't
want to be stranded. Yeah, I know it's pretty crazy. There's like nothing out there. There's a couple resorts on a few of the islands that we went to. Like Macaroni's has a resort there, and then
can you surf Macaroni's even though the resorts are? Okay.
Yeah, so the boats are allowed like 2 days out of the 14-day trip to go to Macaroni's. They just don't let them stay docked for more than 2 days.
Okay.
So we just had to choose like our 2 days based on the swell of when we wanted to go there.
Yeah, that looks so fun.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite wave there. It's just so fun and rippable and it's perfect.
How's that first wave you stood up on there?
It was,
surreal?
Yeah. I mean, it was really cool. That's been a wave like on my bucket list of amazing waves around the world to surf for a long time. And I just remember being out there and it was just like so crazy that I'm just like, wow, I'm actually here surfing this wave. Like, I can't believe it.
Were you having that talk in your head?
Yeah.
Were you? Cool. So check off that mark. And you would totally go back?
I would go back.
Would you stay in the resort till you have it all for like 2 weeks, or would you rather do the boat thing?
I really want to do the resort thing and then maybe a boat trip after, but that would be pretty cool.
Okay, so now you've been traveling a lot throughout your life, right?
Yeah.
Home versus travel. Do you like prefer one over the other? Or is it like you want to go home and you get home and you're like, I'm ready to travel?
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. It's funny. I'll be like out and about and I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go home after like a month or more of traveling. And then I get home and I'll be home for a couple weeks and I'll be like, oh, I just want to go on a surf trip again. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's like both of them are pretty amazing. It's pretty cool that, as a surfer, what you get to do for your job and like the opportunity to travel is so amazing. And then just making sure like when I'm home, it's like spending time with my family, my friends, and enjoying that part. It's all just like balancing everything out, I guess.
And then have you missed holidays or anything and you're like in another country that maybe doesn't celebrate, let's say Thanksgiving or something?
Yeah.
Are you at home if you're not at home? Because, Australia doesn't have the same Thanksgiving as us, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just from some random country.
Yeah. I haven't
Do you miss it?
I haven't really been gone too much for holidays, really. Okay. I've always been home for Christmas every year. And then Thanksgiving, I've either been home or traveling and had like my parents there or someone there. So
you had like an impromptu kind of Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah. So and I think the only place that I've done Thanksgiving away from home is in Hawaii. So it's still pretty much the same. So I mean, I guess that part hasn't really been too different, but yeah.
And then what do you do for R&R, which rest and relaxation? Do you ever turn off the contest mode? Does that make sense? The right question?
Yeah.
Is that, even if you're surfing, or do you ever just like, I'm going to take 3 days off of surfing? Or no?
Yeah, I guess like coming home from a really long trip or even just like coming home from Europe, I took a little bit of like the day I get home, I kind of just reset and relax. And if the waves aren't good, maybe I won't go surf. But I'm pretty like, if the waves are good, like I gotta go surf. It doesn't matter if I've been home for only a couple hours or just landed somewhere. I'm like, if the waves are good somewhere, I'm definitely gonna go surf.
And then, so How was the last day in France? The last surf? Even contest or not contest? How was the last surf there?
The last surf there, I think...
Was it good, bad?
It was really fun, actually.
Okay.
I found this really fun, like, little left and right sandbar. It was pretty crowded, but I was still able to get a bunch of waves. And it was like high tide and really close to the beach, which is like, I feel like classic French beach break when it's small and high tide. And it was like a really beautiful day too, afternoon. It was nice and glassy, and it was a really fun, like, last surf session there.
So then you come home and you get off the plane, and it's kind of good here.
Yeah, when I came
So how does that translate in your head? Like, are you like, I gotta get home, get my wetsuit and go?
I mean, it was funny actually. When I got home here, we got home pretty late at night, I think, and I slept in the next day. And
so you weren't rushing to get in the water?
I wasn't rushing to get in the water. I honestly think the first day that I got home, the waves weren't amazing yet. So I surfed like later in the afternoon. But the day after that, the second day that I was home, I remember I woke up and I hadn't even checked like the cameras yet or anything. And my dad just like ran into my room and he's like, the waves are good. Like, we got to go surf now.
Oh, so your dad's like...
And I was like, wait, really? Like, show me. And I was like looking at the cams and I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, we got to go surf. Okay. But I mean, it just depends on what the waves are doing. Sometimes it is nice to come home and just have a couple days to like reset and relax and maybe not surf if the waves aren't so good, just to give yourself a little bit of time to kind of decompress from everything, I guess.
Okay. And do you feel like you need that?
I think so. I think it's good every once in a while, just especially after like a long month on the road. And having 2 contests in a row is like definitely a lot of emotions up and down. So it's nice to sometimes come home, or even if you're away, just to have like a day in between to kind of give yourself a little break.
Okay, so this is personal. You do not have to answer this. But you said emotions. What emotions are you going through?
I think
is that a hard question? I
mean, not too much. It's not too hard. I think there's just like a lot of, I get a lot of like adrenaline from like contest, and sometimes stress and nerves, but also like a lot of excitement. And then it always comes along with competing. Like if you lose out, like the going from the high down to the low, and like all of your adrenaline like going away, and just like, I don't know, there's a lot of up and downs like with competing, because obviously you can't win them all. So yeah, it's like there's a lot of that. So I think just trying to figure out how to come down, like if you had a really bad loss at one contest and you're moving on to the next, like learning how to reset and just be able to completely reset and have like a new contest and a new mindset, and going into that one without bringing that like loss with you, I guess.
No, totally makes sense. So how did you learn that? Is that over time you've learned that? Did you learn that by yourself? Or did your parents help you, like talk to you? Or
over time, I feel like just having people like who support you and stuff. And I guess over time you just learn how to, I guess, come back from those like setbacks or losses, and going from winning to losing to winning again or whatever. Like there's just so much that's happening. But I feel like with the more experience, the more contests that you do, and the more time that you have in all those different like stages, like the more you can learn how to, I guess, like balance it out and kind of flow through it all.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Most people probably don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
In an everyday life. I
mean, I guess any sort of like competitor would have to deal with that. Yeah.
So there's which is only a handful in the world, you say, the population. So it's kind of fascinating to me.
Yeah.
But back to R&R. What is your R&R? Or your rest of your life? What do you do? I don't think you answered that, did you? Not
really. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I guess just relaxing at home.
What's relaxing?
I enjoy doing yoga.
Okay.
Yeah, so that helps me kind of like unwind and stretch out, and just kind of, it definitely helps me relax. And then, I enjoy having time to watch TV shows or movies is always nice and relaxing, and can kind of get your mind away from different things going on. And I also try to like journal all the time.
Oh, cool.
And that's one thing I do to even just remember like
So you're going to write a book?
traveling and stuff. No.
One day when the tour is over, you're just going to write a book?
Oh,
Which would be pretty rad,
it
actually.
would be pretty cool. I do enjoy writing, so that's one way that I like just even to remember like traveling and stuff, like if it's after a long travel or like a long trip, like the month in France, like I can just reflect on everything and write it all down, and it helps you kind of just like get it all out, I guess, like with traveling and competing and all of the things going on. So yeah, those are kind of the things that I like to do.
Do you go back and read what you wrote like 3 years ago? Or no?
I haven't done that, but I do think I probably will do that later in life.
Oh, okay. That'll bring back memories probably.
Yeah.
Of things you forgot.
Yeah.
And then, so now you're getting more and more popular. And you're working your way up, you know, in the public eye. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, and I feel like it'll come along with our job. Like, I feel like nowadays, like, social media and everything is seen as something, like, so important, and there's so much.
Is it important?
I mean,
Your perspective.
don't personally, like, think that it is something that I'm like, oh, this is such an important part of my life, but it is important for my job and for surfing and getting your name out there and everything and creating your sort of brand, I guess you could say.
Okay. Is brand meaning you or the brands you ride for?
Brand meaning me and also the people I ride for, but mainly yourself, because you want to try and be I try to be like as authentic and real as I can be, and try and just put myself out there as I am. So it's, I mean, it is important for my job, but I try not to let it like take over my whole life, I guess.
Okay. And so do you enjoy doing it? Do you do it? Like, who's doing your Instagram? Are you doing your own Instagram?
Yeah, I do my own Instagram, and I choose what photos I want to post and things I want to say and all of that. But I do have fun doing it, but I do try to, I guess, like limit my time doing it and just, I don't know, try not to let it take over like too much.
Okay. So do you ever have like, I have to do a post today? Or is it just kind of organically happen? Like, I'm going to do a post. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The question?
I guess, there are certain times when you do have to do posts for certain sponsors or things like that. But other than that, like, I just enjoy sharing photos of my travels and
when
surfing
you feel like
and just things, fun things that happen with my friends or whatever. Like, if there's something cool that I got a photo of, like, I'll post it one day. But just sharing that with other people, I feel like.
Okay, so what's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is Alyssa_Spencer1.
Okay. And then are you on Facebook or Twitter, any of those other ones?
I do have Facebook, and I'm pretty sure it's the
Just
same
family?
as my Instagram.
Is that family, or is that like your page?
It's my page too, but I rarely go on it, to be honest.
Is Facebook dying?
I don't know.
In your generation?
I think so.
It might be, right? What about Twitter and all the other ones? I don't know.
No. I only have Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. And then, so you're kind of saying you like social media, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't consume your life.
Yeah.
Are you on there? Like, how many hours a day are you on there? Let's give it a real guess.
I have tried. I mean, I have like a time limit thing.
Okay.
So I try to limit my time to 15 minutes a day.
Oh, that's not a lot. That's very little,
but
actually.
I mean, sometimes I will
Exceed that.
go over it, but I really do try to like keep it down as low as I can. Because
why? Is it a time suck or what? Like,
I just feel like you get so like sucked into it, and then it's like hours go by, and you're like, oh no, what did I just do? Like, I've been sitting on my phone this whole time.
Does that bum you out?
Yeah, I think so. Just because there's other things you can be doing that are more productive in the day than being on your phone. But I mean, it is fun. Like, I do enjoy, I mean, like seeing what my friends are doing and catching up with people. And sometimes that is like,
are you bantering back and forth with them sometimes? Or?
I mean, sometimes I'll talk with my friends over there, but I guess I just try to limit the amount of time that I'm just like mindlessly scrolling through Instagram.
And then do you get recognized by, like, let's say little girls or little boys? And it does happen?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
let's say you're at the grocery store or you're
not
out to eat.
really.
No.
Normally
More
only
in the
when
water.
I'm at the beach or in the
Or the
water. Yeah.
contest? Okay.
Yeah. Or at a contest, but
Are you signing autographs?
only at contests.
And how's that?
I mean, it's really cool. I do enjoy it. It's awesome to have like the next little generation be so like, I don't know, I guess inspired by
That's
you.
rad, yeah.
It's pretty cool to see because even like down at the Supergirl is one of the events that like you get the most fans, I would say, coming up to you on the beach for
Really?
any girl, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I used to go down there when I was a little girl and
Right,
watch the event and like be one of those little girls with their little paper and pen running up to you and be like, can I have your autograph?
Okay, so let's think of little Alyssa, right? At the Supergirl. Do you remember what girls you're walking, or the ladies you're walking up to asking for autographs?
Yeah.
Do you recall?
Yeah, I actually have some photos. I remember I have this one photo of me and Malia Manuel.
Okay.
And she had just signed my like shirt or something, and I got to take a photo with her, and I thought it
Rad.
was like the coolest thing ever.
So now you're competing against her.
Yeah.
Have you surfed the heat against her?
I don't think I've surfed a heat against her,
Okay.
but I hope to one day.
Okay. Have you ever told her that story?
I have actually,
Okay.
yeah. So I was working with a coach in Australia 2 years ago now, I guess,
Okay.
whatever the last time I would have been there before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Stace Galbraith, and he is also Malia's coach.
Oh,
So
okay.
I got to do a couple sessions with her, and just we were spending a lot of time like around each other. And I remember I had that photo on my phone from like a long time ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, like look at this photo that I had or whatever. And I was like, I can't believe that I still have this. Like, that's amazing.
Rad. Yeah.
And she was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah. So how does it feel? Okay, so, but the feeling, like, is it like the first time you signed autographs, right? How was that feeling? Do you remember that feeling?
Yeah, it was weird, but also like really cool. I don't know.
I would think so.
I enjoyed like, I don't know, I guess like giving back and trying to always like make time if someone comes up to you and wants to talk to you or just say hi or whatever. Like just remembering like I was one of those little girls once and I thought it was so
And do you
amazing.
think that?
Yeah,
That's
like
cool.
I try to think about that every time, like if someone does come up to me or even if it's at a contest, like making sure that you give that person like the time of day because you were once that little girl, like just hoping that you could at least say hi to them and that they would say
that's
something
super
back.
Cool. And that changes their life a little bit. Probably.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's change gears for a second. And it's getting long, so I'll let you go pretty soon. All right. Did you watch The Ultimate Surfer?
I did.
What did you think about it?
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really funny and entertaining. And
Do you know all those girls?
Yeah, so I know quite a few of those girls that were on there. So it was funny to like see my friends or like people that I know on there, and I felt like that made it just even more entertaining to watch.
It was entertaining in a weird way, but it was good. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good. I thought a couple of things made it a little kooky or whatever you want to call it.
But I guess it's mainstream, so it had to.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Would you go on?
I would not go on. I don't really think that I fit reality TV.
Okay, all right, fair
That's
enough.
the only reason. But I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it was
super
really
awesome.
fun to watch, and yeah, I mean they did a good job, like not making it overly like too.
Just that bachelor part was kind of weird.
Yeah,
that was a little for me personally, but I actually enjoyed it. I watched the whole thing, and I was stoked for those guys.
Yeah, no, they did a great job doing it, I think, and they made it definitely very entertaining.
Yeah. Okay. And then wave pool.
Wave pool.
Yeah.
I thought the wave pool was fun when I got to go up there.
How many times have you surfed it?
I've been up there 3 times now, I think.
And how many waves are you getting like per session?
The first time I went up, I think I got 6 waves. And then the second time I went up, I think I only got a few waves, like 2 or 4 waves. And then the last time that I went up for the contest, I think total I got to surf like 20 waves.
Okay, so how was that?
It was cool. It's definitely very nerve-wracking.
Is it nerve-wracking?
Just because, you know, if you mess up at any part of the wave, like that's your one wave and it's gone. It's not coming back. So it's definitely, yeah, that part of like having that in your head can be a little challenging at times, but I felt it was easier to surf it not in a jersey in the contest rather than in the contest, because that definitely made me a lot more nervous.
Okay, so the first wave you surfed there, the very first wave, do you remember that wave?
I kind of do.
Did you make it to the end?
Yes, that I made it all the way to the end.
Did you? Okay. Were you playing it safe though? Or
I played it very safe, I think. I don't even know if I got barreled. I think I was way out in front of the barrel, and then I was just doing like carves and then like racing down the line and like trying to just feel out the wave, because I remember I was like, I want to finish my first wave, like start to finish, just to like know like where sections are going to be so I can like see it while I'm surfing it, I guess.
So they kind of, I think on the free surfs, what I've seen on video, I've never been there, but they kind of tell you with the jet ski, like, all right, this section's coming.
Yeah, they can.
But during the contest, did they?
No.
So you just had to know that wave at that point.
Yeah, during the free surfs, the guy on the jet ski would like ask you like, hey, if you want like a couple like heads up, like the barrel section's coming or like it's gonna stop soon or whatever, like I can just give you a little yell or whatever.
Okay.
And then they also have like different color flags up on the fence. So it'll tell you like when the barrel section's coming.
Because you can't read it like a normal wave, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
I mean, I definitely use the flags a little bit.
Okay.
And then you could also try and like count how many turns you did. But that's also tough because not like, I mean, the waves are the same, but they're a little bit different, each one. So it's like, the one section could be different than the next one, so it's like hard to count your turns, I feel like.
Does the wind affect it?
The wind does affect it a little bit. I mean, it always seemed like it was offshore on the right and a little bit onshore on the left for the most part.
Okay. Backside or front side there?
I enjoy going front side more.
Okay, so that's you think it's a strength for everyone, go front side there? It seems like it. I think
so, yeah. The wave is just easier to stay in front of,
navigate maybe
front side, and I feel like there's more variety on your front side surfing rather than backside, because you kind of have to do like the same turn almost on every section there. It's a little harder to get like more variation, and then the backside barrel section was very tricky.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you make any of them?
I made one or two, and then a couple I got like lipped in the head.
And how's that?
Yeah,
I heard you get slammed pretty hard.
Yeah, you get slammed pretty hard. And it's just straight like concrete. It's like
Did you hit the bottom?
I did hit the bottom once, but it was nothing bad. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that helped do you think surfing that wave helps your surfing? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in the ocean?
I don't think so. Surfing in the wave pool is like so much, it feels different. I don't know. Like when I surf in a wave pool, whether it be there or
have you surfed Waco?
I went to Waco a couple times.
How's Waco?
Waco's really fun. Okay. I enjoyed that place, but coming back, it's like it just feels different. It's not the same feel as like a normal wave, but I do think it's good for working on certain things. Like in Waco, it was nice to have like repetition after repetition, like back to back to back, to like work on if there's like one turn you're wanting to work on or something, but it's definitely not the same as surfing in the ocean. So
would you prefer, they pulled that off the contest. Are you glad or unglad or indifferent?
I don't know. I think that they replaced it with a better wave. I don't know what wave they like put it up, but all the waves on tour are pretty amazing this year. So I think whatever they replaced it with is better than there. But I mean, it was an exciting event as far as like how much pressure you felt and all that. Like there's a lot of different aspects that you had to like work through. But I think that a lot of people are happy that that event's not on the schedule anymore.
Okay. And then what do you do before you surf? Like, do you wake up bright and early? Like if you know there's a swell, or do you kind of just wake up whenever you wake up?
I normally am up like pretty early. I normally
No
wake
alarm
up
set?
like, yeah, my body just wakes up at like 6:30,
Okay.
kind of no later than 6:30.
Okay.
And then if the waves are going to be good, I'll wake up earlier than that to go when it gets light out.
Okay. And then do you go like, okay, so it's light out at 7:00 or whatever. You had your coffee. Do you drink coffee?
Sometimes.
Not really. Okay, you don't drink coffee. I can tell. Okay. Are you going to Surfline and checking the waves? Or are you driving down? You don't live far from the beach.
Yeah, sometimes I'll check the cams on Surfline,
Okay.
or I'll check.
What's
like,
the normal?
Normally,
Are you looking out and see the winds doing?
yeah, or just to see like what size the waves are. Sometimes, I mean, I'll look at like the charts or the buoys or whatever and try to go off of that. And then in the morning, I'll normally just wake up and look at the camp just to make sure to see or whatever. And then decide like what board I'm going to bring and all of that. So, yeah.
What about alternative crafts? Like, you riding a longboard ever? Like, are you sticking mostly to your contest boards?
Yeah, normally I'm riding the short board, but I do have a little like fish that I'll take out every once in a while, and very few times a year I'll take out a longboard. But I do think it's fun too. But
are you a good longboarder?
I wouldn't say so. No, I think it's fun though to try, and I mean it's good to mix it up every once in a while.
Let's go back to the wave pool real quick. So I don't know if you did. Did you ever watch longboard contest? And I'm not a real longboarder at heart.
I haven't watched too many of them.
But the wave pool?
Yeah.
The longboarders look good on that. I think they look better than like the shortboarders.
Yeah, I watched a couple of their waves actually because I saw the like highlights posted.
Yeah.
And
it looks sharp.
Yeah.
I think that wave's more suited for a longboard personally.
I thought it was really cool, and just like I don't know, I think that wave definitely suits the longboarders pretty well.
Sorry, a little side note. Okay. And then, so what's your future plans? What's your goals?
Yeah.
You kind of already talked about it pretty much this whole interview.
Yeah. My goals for this year, and if it doesn't happen this year, then next year, is to qualify for the World Tour. That's like my number one goal on my list right now. Going into the last event at Haleiwa, I'm looking to get semifinal finish or better. And I think a final would solidify a qualification spot for me, but semifinal could do it as well. So those are my goals for now, I guess short term. And long term would be to hopefully qualify for the 2024 Olympics. And and then win a world title.
That would be rad. Okay. So I'm on your side for the world title. And I think you can do it totally. Any final thoughts or words you'd like to share with the people?
No, nothing really.
Thank you so much for inviting me over here. Thank your mom and dad. It was so fun. Actually, a super fun interview, kind of longer than normal.
Yeah.
So thank you, Alyssa, so much for the interview.
Yeah, that was really fun. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is Mike and Alyssa, and we're out of here. Thanks. Bye. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Please follow us on Instagram and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Give us 5 stars if you listen to us on Apple. And do me a favor and tell a friend that QuiverCast is back. I'd like to thank Blue Factory and Dave Hegstrom for the music. And I'll see you on the lineup. Are you Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.